following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language and flashing imagery.
But that was on American soil. It's only right to run it back again, don't you think? Don't you think?
The rematch between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is officially off.
As the weeks have unfolded, she's just not going to be ready.
Katie Taylor not fighting and that fight card not happening, we have a problem.
Katie Taylor on her social media It's coming from Katie, so there's no excuses can be made now.
And I always said that when Chantelle Cameron racked up the belts, she would be the front runner.
Undisputed champion versus undisputed champion.
Both undisputed, both undefeated. No brainer.
Katie's like, no, we'll dance at 140.
That is a tougher fight than Amanda Serrano for Katie Taylor.
I love it. Sensational.
For the first time in a 4-belt era, 2 reigning undisputed champions will face off against each other.
The Queen of Ireland. She's coming home.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a moment that I never actually thought would happen. The homecoming of Katie Taylor. May 20th, 3 Arena, live on DAZN around the world. Katie Taylor will move up in weight to attempt to become a 2-division undisputed world champion against the reigning undisputed 140-pound champion, Chantelle Cameron. It is, for me, one of the best fights, not just in female boxing, but in boxing overall. An atmosphere that will be remembered for many years to come. And it's finally happening. Katie Taylor will fight in Ireland on May 20th. We have 2 press conferences here today, one to talk about the first announcements and the segments of what will be a tremendous undercard on a very, very important night, and then of course the second press conference between Katie Taylor and Chantelle Cameron. A real mix of talent and big fights up here, World Championship fights as well. Young Irish talent that has huge future here as well. World Championship matchups across female and male boxing as well. And we're going to speak to a number of those fighters up here today. And Thomas, I'll start with you. Obviously, everybody's always said, when Katie Taylor fights in Dublin, make sure I get on the card. It's been talked about for a long time. It's finally happening. May 20th, you will fight on the Katie Taylor undercard in Dublin. Just a massive moment for yourself and Irish sport.
Yeah, absolutely massive, you know, so a big thank you. It's great to be part of such a massive event so early on in my career, you know, 4 fights on. I never thought I'd be at a stage where I'd be fighting on events like this, let alone events like this in Dublin. So looking forward to a massive night here in Dublin and a massive week. I think fight week is going to be hectic, you know.
Obviously your own career is progressing nicely as well, boxed on some big shows, but nothing quite like fighting at home and nothing quite like fighting on a card like this.
No, I've fought in some massive shows, you know, I'm very grateful I've fought in some massive shows so far, but none of them even come close to this, you know. This is crazy, and I think it'll be a long time before I fight in another show even close to this, you know.
And finally, talks for you of stepping up, perhaps an Irish heavyweight title on the card. That's what you want on May 20th.
Yeah, I'd like to fight. I would like to have some sort of a fight with substance to it, you know. I don't want to bring in somebody I'm expected to be. I'd like a really good fight and hopefully a title fight, Celtic or Irish title, if anybody's eligible and anybody wants to take it, you know.
Well, we look forward to seeing you and your fans making plenty of noise at the 3 Arena. Just to talk about these fights, of course, the IBO light middleweight championship, super welterweight championship is called now. Tremendous fight between Dennis Hogan, the reigning champion, and JJ Metcalf as well. For Hogan, the first time that he would fight in Ireland, obviously lives in Australia now. We saw him in a great fight with Sam Eggington recently. And if you've seen JJ Metcalf fight as well, Kid Shamrock, get ready for an absolute war between those two. Gary Cully, on my end, for me, the best young prospect, if you like. And I think prospect is a word we can't really use anymore. Because he is already at world level, ready to progress now and ready to put himself in position to fight for the world lightweight title. And Terry Harper, to my left, 2-division world champion in a massive fight with Cecilia Brackhouse on the card as well, and just got confirmed just a few moments ago before the press conference. We are delighted to announce that Ellie Scotney will also be on the card, fighting Shanika Johnson, the reigning IBF Super Bantamweight World Champion. She will get her shot at the world title as well, and plenty of other Irish talent to be announced on the card. But JJ, we'll start with you. A fight with you and Dennis Hogan is just a fight that can only be fireworks. 2 fighters that love to come forward, and your rise over the last year has been incredible, and a massive fight in Dublin.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank yourself and Matchroom for, you know, I asked for this fight and you've delivered it to me, so I'm just grateful for that. And yeah, it's going to be a great fight, and a fight that I believe I'm going to win. This time last year, I was going to call it a day. I was told by people close to me to, you know, just leave it at that now, and, you know, I'm grateful that I never really.
Yeah, it's an incredible turnaround. Obviously, a huge victory in Spain for you as well. Victory in Leeds as well. You're very well ranked now in the world, looking to close in on a world title shot. It's an IBO version of that title. We know there are bigger belts to win as well, but certainly a piece of that world championship in your weight class as well. And looking at Hogan, just a great style for you as well. And of course, fighting an Irishman, but deep Irish roots within the family as well.
Yeah, you know, he keeps talking about it's Irish and English, but, you know, I grew up with all my family, all Irish, and, you know, I believe I'm a part of me is Irish, so I don't think it's going to be that sort of factor, but I'm really looking forward to it, and, you know, I believe I'm going to win the fight and see what comes after that.
And finally, obviously, we know that Katie Taylor, Chantelle Cameron, great fight, but 9,000 in the free arena. It's going to be full up, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be an atmosphere to remember.
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. It's one of the biggest Irish events in boxing history, is it? And, you know, I'm grateful to be part of it.
Look forward to that fight. Then it's Hogan against JJ Metcalf for the IBO world title. Terry, let's go to you. You've definitely been one of the most patient fighters over the last couple of months, because it's just been disappointment after disappointment with dates moving back. You were set for April 29 in Sheffield. We know Dalton Smith got injured. The messages were coming through from yourself and Steffi, and delighted to get this one over the line for you. That weight is worthwhile. You against Cecilia Brackhouse, tremendous fight, and to do it on such an important night, I guess not just for women's boxing as well, but for boxing in general.
Yeah, definitely, it's worth the wait, like you said, and if I was given the option of a card that I wanted to be part of this year, I would have definitely chosen this one. So I feel like everything happens for a reason, and now I've got the opportunity to be on such a great historic card, and it's my chance to go out there and show everyone what I can do.
Obviously won that world title from Hannah Rankin. Cecilia Brackhouse just levels above Hannah Rankin, you know, former undisputed champion. The first lady of boxing is the nickname, and been around for a long time, beaten so many great competitors. A very tough fight for you as well, and against someone, you know, a career welterweight, but moving up to 154. Again, yourself moving up from super featherweight, where you won a world championship, but settling nice into that weight division now.
Yeah, when obviously becoming world champion again against Hannah, for me then I wanted to become undisputed, but for things out of our control, that fight hasn't materialised, and I said to Andrew I want the next best fight possible up at this weight, and Cecilia wanted another roll of the dice, and I'm very grateful that she's given me the opportunity to share the ring with her, and I kind of think, what does she see a weakness, and why she allowed me to have the fight with her? But I'm just excited, and like you said, Cecilia's got a lot of experience, but I feel like this is a bit of a passing of the baton, similar to when I fought Eva Wallström back in 2020. And I just really got to capitalise on my youth and use that as my advantage.
And I have to ask you, I know it's Ireland versus England in the main event, but just a great fight. I know that in boxing particularly, everybody thinks this is just such a tremendous fight between Katie Taylor and Chantelle Cameron. You know, it's been talked about for a long time. Some people felt that it wouldn't happen, but just how excited are you for that fight? And I guess a pick if you want.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. We were going to come over as fans, so you've saved me some money on the ticket, plane tickets and hotel prices. But yeah, it's a great fight, and I feel like it's probably a better fight than the Amanda Serrano and Katie. But for me, I'm a very big Katie fan. I have been from the start, so I got to back Katie all the way.
Okay, wise choice in Dublin. Gary, welcome, mate. It's been a great couple of months for you since we teamed up, and timing couldn't be better, really. To think that when we spoke, you know, we always had the dream of you returning back to Ireland and headlining your own right in time to come. But just a huge night for you. Co-main event, it's going to be a big fight that we'll be announcing over the next couple of days. What an opportunity for you to fight in Ireland in what will be a crazy night.
Yeah, I just want to start out by giving a massive shout out to Katie. She's been leading the way for us for a long time and creating opportunities not only for myself but Thomas on the card as well and other Irish fighters, and yeah, she deserves massive respect, so big shout out to her and also to yourself at Matchroom Boxing. We didn't see any other promoters. We've been starved of this for 15 years. I remember being a kid coming to the Point Depot and watching Bernard Dunn fight, and we've been starved of it ever since. The Irish fans have been, and you're the promoter to come back and to give us big time boxing back in Dublin. So thank you, and yeah, it's going to be a special night for me, for my friends, for my family, and for my career as well. I'm going from strength to strength. I'm gaining lots of momentum, and I'm excited to put in a big performance on May 20th in front of my home fans.
You've had a tremendous run, those 3 fights, all big nights as well, obviously starting with the Miguel Vasquez victory. Sort of eased through those 3 fights, but I know yourself, your training team, everybody ready for that big step up on May 20th.
Yeah, and I've been kind of getting a little bit annoyed, I suppose, people saying easy work all the time, and my preparation is nothing but easy. I put in hard hours, hard graft in the gym, and that's what makes the performances look so good and the fights look so easy. But look, I've been going through the levels, stepping up in levels, and I've been going through them quite effortlessly, I suppose, yeah, on the night. But I'm ready to step up now. I'm ready for some big fights, and I'm ready to really experience this atmosphere on May 20th as well, first and foremost. And I believe that I've got a job to do on May 20th, is to have the 3 Arena on wheels by the time Katie walks to the ring, and that's my plan to do that as well. So yeah, expect a big performance coming on May 20th.
Obviously, you know your people here, you know the support for Irish boxing as well, but talk about that atmosphere that you expect on the night, and obviously such a great platform for yourself to go on and become a regular headline act at the 3 Arena and beyond as well, but an unbelievable atmosphere, and where you want to be, topping bills at that venue.
100%, and when you say unbelievable, I really believe it is going to be unbelievable. No sort of thing that you can imagine is going to come close. I've been in the 3 Arena a couple of times and I've witnessed the atmosphere there, but because we've been starved of this for so long, I believe it's going to be extra. It's going to be multiplied by 10, and it's going to be a special night in there. And like you said, I want to come back towards the end of the year, headline my own shows, start selling out my own arenas in there, my own shows in that arena as well. So yeah, it's a big step up for me. It's there's a bit of pressure on my shoulders, a bit of expectation on myself, but I'm looking forward to, like I said, putting in a big performance, and yeah, getting the Irish fans to get behind me as well.
Well, absolutely. Gary Cully, who I believe is one of the huge futures of Irish boxing, looking for a big performance on May 20th. So the first few fights announced for the card. Plenty more to come as well. As we said, Thomas Carty looking to become the Irish heavyweight champion on May 20th. JJ Metcalf taking on Dennis Hogan for the IBO Super Welterweight Championship. Tremendous fight with Terry Harper against Cecilia Brackhouse for the WBA Light Middleweight Championship of the world. Gary Cully as well, fight announced shortly, and Ellie Scottney as well will challenge for the IBF Super Bantamweight World Championship against Australia's Shanika Johnson. Plenty more to be announced on what will be a sensational night, May 20th, 3 Arena, live on DAZN around the world. We're going to have a quick photo up here, and then we will continue with part 2 of our press conferences today. Well, welcome back. Just an iconic moment, really, I think is the best thing that can be said. Katie Taylor, after years of performing at every single level, from the amateurs, the multiple European Championships, the World Championships, the Olympic gold, to just completely changing the face of women's boxing and boxing in some respects as well, returns home. May the 20th, the 3 Arena, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world, just a moment that we will never forget. And I think her toughest challenge yet. We all know that the Amanda Serrano rematch was made. Amanda Serrano got injured. We talked about the possibility of waiting for Amanda Serrano, and that wasn't an option. In Katie Taylor's mind, May the 20th was set, and it was an opportunity for her to return home, something that she's always wanted to do. She stepped up, in my opinion, for a tougher challenge, this time against the reigning undisputed 140-pound champion Chantelle Cameron, someone that we've worked with for a long time, someone that I know has been desperate for a chance to fight Katie Taylor for a long time. People in boxing have always said how good this fight was. People have always said, I don't think Katie Taylor will fight Chantelle Cameron. It's too dangerous. How big are the rewards? But for Katie Taylor, the rewards are huge because it's about legacy. It's about becoming a 2-division world champion, undisputed champion. And for Chantelle, it's about the biggest fight in women's boxing. We're delighted to join everybody up here on the table. Alfie Sharma from DAZN, of course, Jamie Moore, Chantelle Cameron, Katie Taylor and Ross Enemat as well, the long-term trainer of Katie Taylor. Alfie, firstly to you. What a run of events on DAZN, of course, coming off the back of a great main event at Next Gen on Saturday night. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin on DAZN on April the 1st. Jesse Rodriguez, April the 8th. Joe Caldina against Rakimov the 22nd. Tank against Ryan Garcia thrown in there as well. And this fight as well, part of the DAZN subscription, Katie Taylor against Chantelle Cameron. A huge run of events.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Eddie, and thank you everyone for coming out today. Yeah, I mean, we at DAZN love Katie Taylor. We've been working with Katie for a hell of a long time, and we're super excited for this event. I mean, whenever Katie fights, it's a big fight, and this is no different. Obviously, she's taken on an undisputed champion in Chantelle, and we're incredibly proud to be part of this historic event. I think what's been said quite often is you could have probably forgiven Katie for taking maybe an easier fight for this return, but that's not in Katie's DNA. So credit to both fighters, both unbeaten, and it will be a fantastic event ahead of, as you mentioned, a really strong schedule on DAZN. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, to name but a few, and this is just another blockbuster event, and it's great to be here in Dublin.
Thank you very much for your support. We look forward to a huge night and schedule upcoming on DAZN. Let's talk to the training teams now. Jamie Moore, welcome. Heard you speak to the media earlier. Huge amount of respect for Katie Taylor, but you said it doesn't matter who it is. You believe that Chantelle Cameron beats everybody, and you believe she defends her belts in style on May the 20th, and what will be an incredible night.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying the amount of respect that we have for Katie Taylor as a team. She's paved the way. She's paved the way for female fighters to be able to perform on this stage and get the rewards what they deserve. But I've said it for many years, ever since we teamed up with Chantelle. She's capable of beating any fighter in or around her weight division, and I truly believe that, and that's including Katie Taylor.
Obviously, speaking to the media earlier as well, you made no secrets about the fact that Chantelle's got to take Katie to uncomfortable places. She's got to close the distance and make her work non-stop in that fight as well. Clear-cut tactics that Katie Taylor, who is an outstanding boxer, that's not the tactics of Chantelle Cameron. It's to come and, even as the champion, almost rip that from Katie Taylor in her backyard and force her into a fight like that.
Yeah, there's certain fights where the tactics to victory, they're quite obvious. You know, I'm not going to send Chantelle out there and go, you're going to go and outbox Katie Taylor, because that's a near-on impossible task to do. We've seen her pushed hard, but being pushed hard and being beaten are two separate things. You know, the Pursoon fight was close, but I still believe Katie won that fight. The Serrano fight was close, but I believe she just edged it. And you know, we're in a position now where we've got a few little ideas of how you can have success against Katie, but she has to be able to follow it through and do more than anyone's ever done before.
We've seen Chantelle now headline at the O2. We saw her part of a huge card in Abu Dhabi as well. Those experiences key. I guess nothing can prepare her for the noise and the atmosphere, but you know her well and you believe she'll rise to that occasion.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat the Irish fans. They're phenomenal, and we know we're going to be going in there in hostile territory, but I've never seen anybody as focused as Chantelle Cameron is on, 30 minutes before the fight, on a ring walk. She gets into that zone and there's no stopping her, and I firmly believe that she'll come out on top.
And finally, you've been part of some huge fights, both yourself fighting and coaching as well. Be a special night, May 20th. Of course, I know you work very closely with Chantelle, you've been through a lot together, but just for boxing, forgetting women's boxing, just a massive moment for boxing. And we look at the problems in boxing at the moment of fighters not taking fights and mega fights not happening. This is an example to everybody that if you want a fight, it can happen, and legacy should always be key.
Absolutely. We've just had a conversation with Brian Peters in the backstage, and I said, this is the type of fight where, we've been involved in fights for years, but this is an occasion. This is going to be a huge occasion, and a lot of the times it's how you deal with that occasion. Whoever comes out on top. Katie's been there and done it so many times. Chantelle has now got a lot of experience under her belt, and she's undisputed champion, and it's the right time to make the fight. And stylistically, it's going to blend into an unbelievable fight.
Well, thank you, Jamie. Go to the opposite corner, Ross Enema. Welcome. I guess many could say another day in the office, but there's something special about this, and Katie Taylor's a special fighter that rises to the occasion, and you expect the very best of her in the homecoming in Dublin on May 20th.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people are saying that they're surprised that Katie's taking this fight, or why is she taking this risk ahead of the Serrano rematch, but the reality is Cameron's not the only one that's always wanted this fight. Katie's wanted to fight her for the last 3 or 4 years, so this is something that she's always wanted. So I like when people say they're surprised we're taking the risk, okay, or that they doubt us, because when you doubt Katie, it just lights a fire. And she's motivated like right now, like I haven't seen, even more so than when we first fought Serrano. So a motivated Katie Taylor is a dangerous Katie Taylor. So right now is the perfect time for us to be taking this fight, and I'm excited about it.
A lot of people in boxing feel like this is a tougher fight than the Amanda Serrano fight. Obviously, one's orthodox, one southpaw as well. Do you share that vision? Obviously, Katie fighting a bigger opponent this time around, and a very tough fight.
Yeah, she's a bigger opponent, but she's not just bigger. I mean, Chantelle, she's a tremendous fighter. She's obviously proven that. She's got a great engine. But as far as the size difference, I'm not too concerned about it. Chantelle was a lightweight before. We've gone up once as well. So it's not going to be about who's the bigger fighter. It's going to be about who's the better fighter.
Also, Jamie Moore talked about, pretty clear-cut tactics. Got to get in the trenches, got to bring Katie into a fight. I guess that's the tactic for most of the opposition that Katie's faced as well, but we expect a tremendous battle in all areas.
Yeah, she's big, strong, and busy, but she's also skilled, so it does make for a difficult fight. I do agree. I think it's a tougher fight than Serrano, but Katie has proven time and time again that she finds a way to win. And it's not just about skill. She's willing to go places that a lot of people aren't. Maybe they think they are, but when push comes to shove, she's shown it time and time again. And like I said, the world will see on May 20th the best version of Katie Taylor.
And finally, as well, we talked about Chantelle needing to be composed in this crazy atmosphere. Is that the same with Katie, or just the experience is already there as well? Because this will be something else.
I mean, it's going to be wild, I'm sure, the whole week leading up to the fight, but boxing is unique. Once the bell rings, the two fighters are in there on their own, and they got to fight. So as much as the crowd's going to be screaming, and it's going to be an electric atmosphere, they both need to get in there and do their job. So it'll be similar in some ways, I think, to the Serrano fight, where we couldn't even hear the bell ring. But at the end of the day, the best fighter came out on top.
Thank you, Ross. The reigning undisputed 140-pound champion, Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle, you've been very relaxed here today, very calm. Probably a moment that you thought may never happen, but it is happening. May 20th, you'll defend your undisputed championship against Katie Taylor in Dublin, live on DAZN.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I'm just buzzing to be in this position I'm in, and got to say all thanks to Katie, because women's boxing's flying, and if it weren't for Katie and Clarissa, none of us women would be in this position anyway. So obviously there's a lot of respect there, but this is my career and my legacy, and I'm coming to win, but I'm just so glad to be part of this event as well.
You talked about earlier on in front of the media about the legacy and about this is the moment for you, really. Obviously, you've unified the division, you've become undisputed as well, but this is the moment for you now to go on and cement your legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah, definitely. Katie's pound for pound best women boxer there is, and for me to have that challenge to box Katie and get the win, then I feel like I can walk away from boxing one day and think I've done it. I took out the best there is, and what an achievement that is for me. I become undisputed. That was a goal, and now the goal is to take out the best there is.
Obviously, you've headlined at the O2, you've been part of some big nights in England. Abu Dhabi was a great night as well, but can anything prepare you for those 9,000 and some English fans as well? But that noise when you walk out in that banked arena at the Three Arena is just going to be such a special moment, but that excites you rather than puts fear inside you.
Yeah, obviously there's a little bit of fear. I'll be lying if I said there wasn't, but yeah, I'm hungry, I'm motivated, and then today when the bell goes, it's just me and Katie, so I've got to do my job in the ring.
Talk about England against Ireland. We know that there's a lot of split fighters. Terry went with Katie. Natasha Jonas, I heard, has been DMing you some tactics already as well. But a lot of people split on this fight as well in boxing. Over the years, people have believed you are the toughest challenge out there for Katie Taylor.
Yeah, I think I've got the strength and the power, and Katie's going to be my toughest fight. I'm not coming in there saying it's going to be an easy fight. Like, this is the hardest fight I'll probably ever have. So I'm preparing for that as well, and that's what excites me and gives me that hunger, gets me up in the morning and gets me out running, knowing that I've got the biggest challenge that I'll probably ever have in my boxing career.
Yeah, we talk about her coming to Ireland, how it will raise her game. Have you noticed a difference just getting up in the mornings with that training? You're fighting Katie Taylor, you know that you have to put 110% into every single session. And like Ross said, we should expect the absolute best Chantelle Cameron on the night.
Yeah, definitely. That's I feel like I've never had this motivation before. I feel like I'm going back to my amateur days where I first got onto Team GB and I had the excitement for boxing. And obviously in the pro career, I've had some great fights, but boxing Katie Taylor, as I said, you don't get bigger than that. So if I weren't motivated, then I should have given up a long time ago. But yeah, I'm fully focused, got that fire in my belly, and just can't wait till May the 20th.
And finally, I know you've been calling this fight for the last couple of years, but you said earlier as well that everything has led you to this position, those experiences of beating McGee, of beating McCaskill. You believe the timing is absolutely perfect for you to beat Katie Taylor on May 20th.
Yeah, I think I've had a bit of frustration in my career when I was thinking, I'm never going to get the big fight, it's not going to happen for me. But when I look back now, I think it all happened for a reason, and them fights that I had, the tough fights, and got me the experience, was all part of the process, and now it's giving me that confidence going into this fight, where I think if this fight happened a year or two ago, I think it would have been too soon for me.
And you said earlier as well, in front of the media, they said, do you believe you win this fight? Your answer was just 100%, full of confidence and full of belief that you win this fight on May 20th.
I believe I win, yeah. I think I listen to my coaches, I make sure I do everything correct, then yeah, I'll win.
Katie, welcome. Just a quick visit from you, back from training camp in Connecticut as well. But you said earlier in front of the media, still have to pinch yourself that this is finally happening. It's real, it is happening in the Three Arena. Yeah. You're coming home to not just fight, but to challenge for the undisputed 140-pound championship, to try and become a two-division undisputed champion. Biggest moment of your career so far?
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible that after 22 fights, I'm finally making my homecoming fight. Big time boxing is coming back to Ireland, and it's not just coming back with any ordinary fight, it's coming back with two undisputed champions going head to head together. This is one of the most exciting fights out there right now, and once I heard that Serrano was out, I automatically thought that Chantelle was the obvious choice. Spotless career, undisputed champion. She has decided to make this another epic. This could be another contender for fight of the year.
It was unique from you. We joked earlier about actually calling a fight out on social media, but that's what it meant to you. We had our conversation amongst the team. We talked about delaying the Serrano fight. You said, no, I want to fight on May 20th. We talked about some standard defences, but you were adamant you wanted to bring a big fight home to Ireland, and obviously the ability and the chance to become a two-division champion, just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand why people are saying I didn't want this fight. I think one thing that has marked my career is I've always wanted the hardest fights. My first defence was against McCaskill. My Madison Square debut was against Pursoon, who had dominated the lightweight division for years. And then there's obviously Serrano. who was a 7-weight world champion. That's not to mention all the other difficult fights I've had along the way as well. This fight has happened because I want this fight. We could have went the easier route and actually chose an easier opponent, but that's not how I operate. I want the tough challenges. I want the toughest fights, and now we're here, and this is my big homecoming show, and I have a chance to make history, to become a 2-weight undisputed champion. This will be the biggest night in my career.
I know you don't go too deep in analysing the opponents, but a lot of people say your toughest fight yet in Chantelle Cameron. You go along with that as well? I mean, you've fought some outstanding champions, but young, fresh, strong, you know, and obviously a burning desire to beat you. You are a marked woman of the sport as well, and you always say you expect the very best of your opponents on that big stage.
Yeah, I think this could possibly be, like I said, another Fight of the Year contender. But ultimately, I do have more experience in the bigger fights. I have fought the better opponents, and I am going to be going in mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared more than ever. And please God, I do expect a tough fight, obviously, but please God, I will be going home as a 2-weight undisputed champion.
And finally, I know with all your success, you are the most humble athlete I've ever met, but it must be an amazing feeling to know that you're coming home, you know, your friends, your family, everybody, and just what this country and the people mean to you. Of all the achievements, you know, we were joking earlier about worrying about selling out York Hall. Now we're getting moaned at because 9,000 is just not enough. Yeah. Headline in Madison Square Garden, boxing in the Barclays Centre, in Philadelphia, in Boston, you know, all around the world, throughout England. This is the moment, really, isn't it, for you? And you must be incredibly proud. I hope you're proud of what you've done, because this is the icing on the cake for just a wonderful career.
This is absolutely incredible. I am nearly pinching myself at the fact that this is actually happening right now. And we are people in this country who love this noble sport. And for a very small nation, we're very, very good at it. And it's so amazing to be able to bring big time boxing back to this country. And yeah, I have an amazing opportunity to make more history on May the 20th, and it is amazing. This is another huge milestone for female boxing, because a few years ago we were worried about whether we were going to set out York Hall. Now we're talking about the 3 Arena being too small. This is absolutely huge. This is yeah, just remarkable progress in such a short space of time, and I cannot wait to step in there in front of my home crowd on May 20th.
Well, you should be very proud of your achievements, both of you should. When Katie Taylor came into the head office many years ago, we had no idea of where the journey would take us. I pretended I did and told her all these things that we could do, and headline Madison Square Garden and come back and fill arenas in Ireland. And it's been unbelievable to see it actually happen. And it's happened because you have a true competitor in Katie Taylor. But to make those big fights, you need a dance partner. And Chantelle Cameron has wanted this fight for many years. As Katie Taylor said, 2 undefeated fighters, 2 reigning undisputed champions. The first time in boxing that 2 reigning undisputed champions have faced off against each other. May 20th, 3 Arena, live on DAZN around the world, will be an incredible night, not just for Irish sport, but for all sport around the world. Tickets will go on sale next week. There will be an announcement over the next few days regarding pricing. We apologise in advance for them selling so quickly. Please don't call me, please don't call Katie or Chantelle. Once they're gone, they're gone. We'll give everybody the best opportunity we can to access those tickets. Please stay locked to Matchroom socials over the next couple of days for full announcements. But get ready for a special night between 2 special fighters, showing boxing how it should be done, showing people that legacy is important, showing that if you want a fight, you can make it happen. A tremendous main event, a tremendous undercard, an atmosphere you will never see in boxing again, in my opinion. May 20th, 3 Arena, live on DAZN. We're going to face off up here now, and then both fighters available to the media. We'll see you soon.
Gentlemen, good evening and welcome.